Hey everyone, this is Heidi from Hands Occupied with another knitting tutorial and free pattern for you. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to knit a quick baby bib from start to finish. To work this really quick and easy baby bib, you're going to start by casting on 17 stitches, which I've done in orange here. So for the first 2 rows, we're going to slip a stitch and knit all the way across. And this forms a little garter border, or this little bump that you see along the bottom of the bib here. And what's nice about this bib is that the yarn that I'm using, Bernat Blanket, it also comes in Bernat Baby Blanket. It's 100% polyester, so it's machine washable and dryable, which means it won't shrink in the wash or dryer. I actually myself washed this very bib yesterday to test it out. I put it on full blast and nothing changed with it. So there are other yarns that are acrylic, or polyester like this one and other artificial fibers that are made to not alter in the laundry. And this one is one that I used for this, but if you keep an eye out for yarns like this that are machine washable and dryable, your new parent friends will definitely thank you when receiving handmade gifts made out of such durable yarns. So just a quick tip while I finish knitting this second row, which I am almost done with. All right, so for the first 2 rows, just to reiterate, we slipped the first stitch and knit all the way across, forming a garter border. Now for the 3rd row, which is a wrong side row, we're slipping the first stitch, knitting the second, and now we're going to purl 13. So that'll mean we're purling until just 2 stitches remain. And the needles I'm working with on here, I don't think I've mentioned yet. These are US size 13 needles. And this yarn on the label calls for an 11, but if you go with a 13, you'll get a little bit more bang for your buck as far as how fast the project works up. And I just really liked the bigger gauge on this yarn. So now we've come to the last 2 stitches of our 3rd row, and we're gonna knit those 2 stitches. Now for the body of the bib, all you're going to do is alternate slipping one and knitting across on right side rows, and then on wrong side rows, do what we just did, which is slip 1, knit 1, purl 13, and then knit 2. So do that until the bib is about the size you want it. On here, I repeated those right and wrong side rows 11 times, just 11 times. It's only 13 rows to get the length of the bib I wanted. And this bib's actually a little big, so you could get away with even a couple less rows if you so choose. So next is where our project starts to get interesting again, and where we form the strap of the bib. So let's just pretend I've repeated those rows 11 times. And so what we're gonna do, because that last row needs to be a slip and knit across, I'm gonna knit all the way across this row so that we can be doing the next thing on a wrong side row. Knitting all the way across. On the next row, we're going to start with binding off stitches, but not all the way across our row. And so that's going to let us play with the stitch count and easily form a strap in our work. So on this row, we're going to start by binding off 13 stitches. So on this wrong side row, we're going to start by slipping the first stitch and knitting 1, and then passing that stitch over to bind 1 off. So that's 1 stitch bound off, and we need to bind off 13. So next we're going to knit 1, bind off 2, bind off 3, bind off 4, 5, and you'll notice that I'm only counting when I pass the stitch over. So 6, and that's how you know how many you've bound off. And make sure not to do this too tightly because it'll affect the gauge of your work. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So once you've bound off 13 of your 17 stitches in your row, you'll have 1 stitch on your right hand needle and 3 on your left. And you're going to knit those 3 stitches. And by the way, that row that I just demonstrated, that's probably the hardest thing in this whole project, and it's really not so bad. So now we've got 4 stitches and we're going to turn our work. To form the strap, it's even easier than knitting the bib. You'll slip 1 stitch and knit across, and you'll do that. In the pattern, I listed doing it 40 times, but you can also alter that number, that 40, depending on how long you want the strap to be. So you'll do that 40 times, bind off the 4 stitches, and then this is what that 40 times looks like in the strap. I bound it off, and then all I did was use a long tail from my bind off to weave the ends into the other side of the bib, forming the strap. And then you've got a really quickly made, machine washable and dryable baby gift, which is great for if you've got a shower coming up in a week and haven't even cast on your shower gift. This super easy baby bib comes together really fast and makes great gifts. If you've got other ideas for quick baby shower knitting or crochet projects, let us know in the comments, and let us know if you have any questions there as well. And don't forget to tune in again soon for more knitting video tutorials.